Consistency, perseverance, and smart work, along with that, the right approach and the right guidance helps you crack this exam of UPSC Civil Services examination. But this Rome is not built in one day. Every single day, you add value to your preparation, you add information, you add wisdom to your own character, and that built on and that summarized form of your own self is the one who cracks the code. We here from Sri Ram's IAS on an academy platform are going to help you build on that value. And for that, we humbly recommend you to attend all the sessions that Sri Ram's IS is bringing to you guys through an academy portal, from YouTube to the Unacademy platform. All the sessions that are being taken by the expert team of faculties from Sri Ram's IS on Unacademy, we are going to help you guys build on that value regimen. For that, I bring to you this next session on science and technology. We have been covering current affairs of science and tech for a while, and for all those individuals who have not yet been following my previous sessions, I request you to do that first. And these current affairs series, this is the next in line. Acha, apart from that, another information that I had to share was that economy sessions are also on the charts, and we will be running economy series just like the science and tech series. Again, something that I keep on talking about in all my classes, none of my classes or none of my topics will be repetitive. So you will have to attend all the sessions, and I am not taking any difference insofar as the free live classes on the Unacademy platform is concerned, or these sessions that are happening on Unacademy UPSC Articulate YouTube channel. So you should attend all the classes. सभी classes को attend कीजिए, उन्हें share कीजिए, अपने friends तक पहुंचाइए. So, this wonderful team is bringing to you value added material and value addition material so that you are well prepared for the exam. If you are finding me, I'm right close to Sri Ram sir, our director. This is who am I here, है ना? This is who am I. Acha, who are we is basically the reason, like the given the size is because who are we. Acha, apart from that, this is my name, this is my qualifications, the years of experience, the number of subjects that I have taught, and of course, one thing which is not mentioned here, and that is current affairs. So I'm going to take up current affairs for you guys. Be a part of this initiative and help me help you. If you help me, I would be able to cater to all your needs. And for that, your doubts should be mentioned in the comment section here, or if you're attending the free live classes in the chat section, interact with me so that I can best cater to what you need. ठीक है जी, चलिए. Further, if you are availing any course that Sri Ram's IS is bringing to you on Unacademy platform, then you can use this referral code of SRIRAMS, that is Sri Ram's. If you use this referral code, you will definitely have some discount. For example, in this case, if you are availing for the 2024 foundation batch, you can get 25% discount. Apart from that, if you're looking to get a flat discount on all the offerings that we have on Unacademy, a flat 20% discount, same referral code would work, and it will work for all the courses. ठीक है जी, चल. Why Sri Ram's IS? The name is sine qua non to success. It is one institution that will ensure that we help you achieve your dreams and your goals. These names, these rank holders are an example of that. Let's talk about the first topic, and that we are going to discuss, and that is asbestos. Asbestos has been in news. It has been in news for a while. It is not a very recent topic. Asbestos, what happened is that recently Brazil had sunk an age-old aircraft carrier which was carrying asbestos and various other toxins. Asbestosis, for example, is one of those pulmonary ailments that happen due to prolonged, exposure to asbestos fiber. One, it is artificially made, maybe in certain cases, but it is a naturally occurring fibrous silicate mineral. It is a mineral which occurs naturally. Now, the issue is that most of us, we have been using asbestos sheets for shade purposes, for example, those green colored or sometimes even yellow colored sheets that we think is plastic. Most of the times it is not, it is asbestos. Now, it is a flexible fiber which is resistant to heat, electricity, and corrosion. That is why we use it as sometimes as electrical insulator, sometimes as because it is highly fire resistant as well, sometimes as shades. So, most commonly used in building material. ठीक है जी? So, that is why it is important. But the question that would come from here is whether or not it is a naturally occurring fibrous material. यहीं से ही सवाल आ जाएगा, तो इसके लिए तैयार रहिएगा. Apart from that, where does it come from? Mainly it comes from Russia, Kazakhstan, and China. One, asbestos is present in your cloth, paper, cement, plastic, and various other materials to make them stronger. If strength is something that you need, you go for composite materials or composite fibers, for example. Composite materials के अंदर होता क्या है? You add on two different products to have a third product, which is a composite. Now, in composite material, there are weak bonds which are established, but those weak bonds between two different things, hydrogen bonds, for example, or polymeric chains, for example, that are formed. Now, these bonds, they help you create different properties which are different from both the parent materials, or maybe an enhanced version of both the parent material. इसीलिए एस्बेस्टॉस भी जरूरी है, इंपॉर्टेंट है, पर्टिकुलरली बिल्डिंग मटेरियल के तौर पर, पर्टिकुलरली कंपोजिट मटेरियल के तौर पर एज एन इंग्रेडिएंट. नाउ, this is one toxic mineral. It was once mined throughout North America, and अभी क्या है कि it is mainly coming from Russia, China, Kazakhstan. This has been used in ships both as fire retardant as well as an insulator. तो ये sailors को protect करता है constant and jarring vibrations of ship engines, which can actually have a very uh, frequent wear and tear on ships. Shipping industry, that is why, works on different principles. Now, there are certain health effects. For example, it has pulmonary effects. It is known to be carcinogenic. It is highly toxic, and repeated exposure can cause inflammation and damage to the DNA as well. Okay. Asbestosis is one of the ailments that it is causing. Lung cancer, COPD, mesothelioma. That is another. Acha. As far as this topic goes, one thing, one fact, it is highly toxic. Second, carcinogenic. Third, fire retardant. Fourth, insulator. And the most important part, what is it? That it is naturally occurring. Now, if you know this, that it is naturally occurring, then it is fine. Apart from that, not much is useful here. Let's move on to the next topic, and that is muons. Not move-ons, but muons. Muons, sorry, muons. Muons basically have been a part of, you know, as say physics research for a very long time now, and they are sometimes called as fat electrons. So this can be asked, which of the following particles are also known as fat electrons? Direct question can come up. What has happened is that researchers are examining the fortress wall of Xi'an, an ancient city in China, and by using tiny outer space particles called muons that can penetrate about hundreds of meters of stone surfaces. So they are using it in a applied form. They are not researching on muons. They are using muons for further studies of other things. All right. Now they are subatomic particles. They are not at the atomic level. They are subatomic particles ranging from space. They come from space. Second fact, they are created when particles in the Earth's atmosphere, they collide with the cosmic rays. When they collide, they break down into muons. These particles, they are of the size of an electron, but 207 times as massive. Their weight is more, 207 times more, but they are of the size and shape similar to that of electron. That is why they are also known as fat electrons. Now, Now these muons, they are so heavy, that is why they can travel through hundreds of meters of rock without getting absorbed or decayed into electrons and neutrinos. So electrons plus neutrinos is equals to muons. अब इस पे ये इस स्टेटमेंट पे या इस इक्वेशन पे क्वेश्चन आने के चांसेस तो कम है, बट स्टिल देयर आर चांसेस, लेस और bleak there are chances. So we should know about it. Electrons can penetrate through only through a few centimeters, and beyond that they get absorbed. But these people, they are heavy, they are bulky, size same hai, and that is why they can penetrate in a much to a much more depth. They are unstable, highly unstable. They are not stable. They can exist only for just 2.2 microseconds. Again, they are highly unstable. This can be a part of the statement. You should be ready for that. This muography, which is being used to measure certain things insofar as the ancient walls of Xi'an city fortress is concerned, they are conceptually similar to X-rays, but to create imagery. They help in scanning much larger and wider structures as compared to X-rays. X-rays have to be concentrated in certain areas owing to their penetration powers. That is why myography is more useful or more adaptive as compared to X-rays. Better than X-ray technology, this is what you have to remember. See, my approach is to cover things in a manner where even non-sciences student realize how interesting science can be, to the extent that they crack the code for certain questions. That is it. I am not seeking here to create people, create some kind of love for science, but yes, I am here to help you crack the questions for sciences topic in यूपीएससी एग्जाम. तो आपको यूपीएससी से रिलेटेड जितने भी क्वेश्चंस आएंगे वो इसी स्टाइल के दिखेंगे. द स्टाइल रिमेन्स द सेम, सो दैट इज व्हाट आई एम केटरिंग टू. चलो, मूविंग फर्दर टू द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक, and that is sickle cell disease, SCD. Very important reason, it has been in news for very long time, and recently the finance minister had announced that the government is planning to launch a mission to eliminate this disease, sickle cell disease, by 2047. Sickle cell anemia or sickle cell disease by 2047, and it is basically a group of inherited red blood cell disorders. The shape changes, or the C-shaped farm tool of sickle is the shape that these red blood cells turn themselves into in someone who has SCD, sickle cell disease. Hemoglobin acts abnormally, which causes the red blood cells to become hard and sticky. So rather than that disc shaped, this is the normal version. So this disc shape gets turned into this shape. This is a sickle shape. Sickle hota Hindi mein darati. Darati is the one which is used to cut the crop. All right. Now sickle cells basically they die early, which causes constant shortage of red blood cells, and they, when they travel through small blood vessels, they get stuck, clogging the blood flow. For example, you can fairly notice that these are smooth babies and these are very sharp crystal like stuff, and it gets stacked, not exactly crystal, but they get stacked and can also clog the flow of blood. That is why really harmful. Now this can cause pain, serious other complications, pulmonary and cardiovascular complications, I would say. Now SCD is a genetic condition. This is NCD. What is NCD? In the previous session, you must have heard of it, non-communicable disease. But it is genetic. It is inherited when a child receives two genes, one from each parent, that code for abnormal hemoglobin. So both the parents, they have some contribution, so to say, in creating this kind of a gene in a baby. So this happens from childhood. The blood test can determine, a simple blood test can determine whether someone has SCD or sickle cell traits that may develop into a disease in the future. So this can be diagnosed before a baby is born. in the fetus form as well. It can only be cured by bone marrow or stem cell transplantation, and that is why the demand for stem cells is increasing. Most of the people, I don't know if you know this or not, they basically trade in stem cells. They get stem cells from, say, some parts of Middle East, some part of, say, eastern parts of the world, China, for example, and then they trade it with research institutions in India. It's a good business. It is a very good business. So, and it's not too bulky. Stem cells can be as small, carried in as small as a vial, for example, VIAL. Vial is like the smaller version or a smaller sister to a test tube, very small, like this small. Acha. Moving on to the next topic, Asia's largest helicopter manufacturing facility. Just the location, just the location. It is in Tumkur of Karnataka, Tumkur region of Karnataka. It is a new greenfield helicopter factory. It will push for Make in India, just a fact that you may be able to use in mains. That is why I have written it here. Nothing more than that. Acha, it will help you produce light utility helicopters, LUHs, for example. Then further we'll move on to, other than the 3-ton class, we'll move on to other purposes. For example, single engine multi-purpose utility helicopter, this LUHs, and we'll move on towards multi-barrel and so on and so forth. Acha. Moving on to the next topic. We had read about India-US cooperation in the field of, or the sector of space. One of the most prominent, initiatives that we had discussed was NISAR, NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar, NISAR. This is not an initiative by ISRO, it is a joint initiative by NASA and ISRO. Please remember that. There is another initiative with similar name that you should find out. For example, ISRO has another initiative where it is running its own aperture radars. What is the name of that initiative? Comments में बताइएगा. Comment करके बताइएगा. All right. So this is Joint Earth Observation Mission with NASA and ISRO. The goal is to make global measurements of the causes and consequences of land surface changes, measuring all the influences and events that are happening which have an impact on the land surface. So it is targeted to be launched in 2024, which is next year. NASA is going to be providing missions L-band synthetic aperture radar, a high rate communication subsystem. ISRO is going to provide the spacecraft bus, the S-band radar, the launch vehicle, associated launch services, etc. So it is going to be a logistics support that ISRO is going to provide. Logistics support. है ना? चल. As far as the mission is concerned, mission will measure Earth's changing ecosystem. It will help us understand climate change in a much better way. Earth's, land, ice-covered surfaces. It will be observing that in a 12-day regularity on an ascending and a descending pass. Okay, ji? It will sample on an average every 6 days from the baseline of, for a baseline for a 3-year long mission. Not needed this information, but yes, you should have heard of it. That is why I spoke about it. NISAR mission mein two things. One, NASA and ISRO. Second, what is the role of NASA and what is the role of ISRO? That is more than sufficient for us to know what kind of question that can be asked and cater to that question. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं अगले टॉपिक की ओर, and that is synthetic aperture radar. What is a synthetic aperture radar? It is a technique of producing fine resolution images from a resolution limited radar system which has a limited radar resolution. Using that limited resolution radar system, you create fine resolution images. It requires that the radar has to be moving in a straight line, either in airplane or in this case NISAR would be the one which will orbit us in the space. That is the synthetic aperture radar system. NISAR is NI, synthetic aperture radar. N for NASA, I for ISRO. Cool? Chalo. Moving further to the topic of Project Ellora. Now, Project Ellora is basically a very important topic researchers from Microsoft Research, MSR Lab in India, they have been working towards creating this project Ellora. One thing, who is doing this? So Microsoft is doing this. Object is to bring rare Indian languages online. Project Ellora is to bring Indian languages, rare Indian languages online. This is an enabling low resource language process that was launched in 2015. It is not a recent phenomena, but this is on the charts. It is in news recently, तो इसीलिए इसको cover भी करना है. Some of the languages that are going to be going online is Gondi, Mundari, Idu Mishmi. Idu Mishmi is one language which is very prominent. अच्छा, इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा देख लेते हैं about these languages. आए हैं तो कुछ करके जाएंगे, है ना. तो गोंदी इज बेसिकली अ साउथ सेंट्रल द्रविडियन लैंग्वेज. तो आपको इतना भी पता हो कि इसका कहां से सिग्निफिकेंस है. फ्रॉम साउथ ऑफ इंडिया, पर्टिकुलरली एमपी, महाराष्ट्र, छत्तीसगढ़, आंध्र प्रदेश. यू वुड से सर छत्तीसगढ़ साउथ, नो, साउथ सेंट्रल, है ना. दैट इज वाई एमपी, छत्तीसगढ़, महाराष्ट्र, आंध्र एंड तेलंगाना. So Gond tribes, they are all living in these parts of India and they speak this language. Then it is written in Devanagari and Telugu scripts. It has two scripts. Very important. Then Mundari, Mundari Bani or is actually the script that Mundari uses, and it belongs to Austroasiatic languages family. It is spoken by Munda tribes, of course, in the eastern part of the country, Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal. West Bengal is West Bengal, but it is in the eastern part of the country. Now, if you are not studying maps, then you are lagging behind in your preparations. Start studying the maps. Maps पढ़ने शुरू कर दीजिए. अच्छा, देवनागरी, ओडिया, बंगाली, Latin writing systems as well are being used here. So wonderful and a very enriched language, Mundari. Then we have the Idu Mishmi language. Now, Idu Mishmi language, of course, is a northeastern language, spoken in Arunachal and TAR, Tibetan Autonomous Region of China. This uses the Tibetan and Idu Azobra script, and it is also known as Sulikata, Midu, Mindri, and Mithu language in different parts of different parts of the world. All right. Chal. Further, a most important topic insofar as those individuals who are planning to get married very soon or are hoping to get married someday, and that is lab grown diamonds. Now, lab grown diamonds are just a little bit less lustrous than the naturally occurring diamonds, but you and I, we cannot ascertain the difference. For us, a lab grown diamond is the same as the naturally occurring diamonds, because they are relevant, and also they are being talked about in various in social media influencers. They have been talking about lab grown diamonds. I am presuming that very soon there will be a question on them. Now, these diamonds are being produced using specific technology which mimics geological processes that follow, which allow us to have the natural diamonds, है ना. जिस तरीके से natural diamonds बनते हैं, उसी process को mimic करके we are growing diamonds in the lab. They are not the same as diamond simulants, the natural ones. LDGs, they are chemically, physically, optically diamonds. So that is why it is difficult to identify which one is lab grown, which one is not. Now, these materials such as moissanite moissanite, sorry, and then cubic zirconium or zircon, for example. You must have heard of the term zircon. Zircon is the fake diamond actually, and it has less luster, but it looks like a diamond. Then white sapphire or YAG, these are diamond simulants. They simply attempt to look like a diamond, but they lack sparkle or durability. And that is why diamond simulants versus diamond, sorry, MO. Haven't bought one, so don't know what is the spelling here. Sorry, diamond simulants versus natural diamonds. So these all three are different. Okay. Chalo. Now, there's the difference we have got to know. Moissanite is not a lab grown diamond. Cubic zirconia, not a lab grown diamond. White sapphire, not a lab grown diamond. YAG, not a lab grown diamond. These all are diamond simulants. They look like a diamond, but they don't sparkle as good as diamond. They are not as durable as the diamond. Similarly, if you talk about lab grown diamond, this and earth mined diamond, you can not on your own differentiate between these two. You need advanced equipments for those purposes. Now, what are the benefits? One, it is cheaper. Of course, they are used for industrial purposes in machines and tools. Cheaper, that is why. Their hardness, their extra strength, they make them ideal for the use as cutters. Pure synthetic diamonds, they have high thermal conductivity, they have negligible electrical conductivity, they simulate as to what a naturally occurring diamond would be. They are created in the labs. All right. They are highly invaluable for electronics, where such diamonds can be used as heat spreaders for high power laser diodes as well. So this can be used for multiple applications. Now the Earth's reserve for natural diamonds, they are depleted. Lab grown diamonds, they are slowly repressing the prized gemstone even in the jewelry industry. तो हमारे लिए इसीलिए ये टॉपिक इम्पोर्टेंट है. Moving on to the next topic, and that is spider pulsar systems. Spider pulsar systems क्या होते हैं उनको समझ लेते हैं, and कैसे इनको डिटेक्ट किया गया है उसे भी देख लेते हैं. Now scientists have discovered the first gamma ray eclipse that is happening and might have happened a couple of years back, क्योंकि लाइट बहुत लेट ट्रैवल करके आती है, from a special type of binary star system that was being you know uh, basically observed using the Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope, FGRST. ठीक है जी, Fermi Space Telescope was being used, which was developed by NASA, and that had observed and found out that there was a spider pulsar system existent. What is this spider pulsar system? They have got their name due to the similarity to the customs with some species of spiders. They are formed from binary star systems, where there are two star systems in which one of the components is much more massive than the other. So a very big star and a very small star. If you can see here, a small star, a big star. है ना? Now it evolves much faster, explodes like a supernova, turns into a neutron star, एक star में तब्दील हो जाता है. It is then super dense object that is created, that begins to pull a matter from the companion and starts to resemble the habits of spiders of the genus Leptrodectus, जहां पर the female eats the male after mating. Ugh. Uh, but still, so how let's how poetic would that be, है ना? That female eating the male, so bigger eating the smaller, let's say that, है ना? Two varieties of binary star systems containing pulsars, they have been named after these arthropods. For example, black widow and the redback. Black widow system में क्या होता है? The mass of a companion star is generally less than 5% of the bigger one, the solar one, and then in redback it is somewhere around 10 to 50% of that, the bigger one. Okay, so there is only the size difference. So black widow is very small, 5% of the size, and then redbacks, they are far bigger. ठीक है जी, थोड़ा size बड़ा होता है. All right, and that is the topic as far as the Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope is concerned. इसको भी थोड़ा सा देख लेते हैं. Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope is operated by NASA. FGST is not a different type of goods and services tax. It is Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope. All right. It was also known as GLAST, Gamma Ray Large Area Space Telescope. इसका नाम चेंज हो गया था बाद में. ठीक है जी. It is a main instrument, and the main instrument that it has is Large Area Telescope, which the astronomers use, and they most likely perform an all sky survey using this telescope, है ना? दैट इज इट. इससे ज्यादा डिटेल में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. जस्ट इन केस दे चेंज द नेम एंड देन आस्क यू द क्वेश्चन, यू शुड नो व्हाट ग्लास्ट इज, हु इज ऑपरेटिंग ग्लास्ट. ग्लासनोस्ट नहीं है ये, दिस इज नॉट ग्लासनोस्ट एंड पेस्ट्रोइका, देयर इज अ डिफरेंस. एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, you should know what are spider pulsar systems. that we have talked about, and finally they turn into, say for example, they evolve, they explode much faster, they act like a supernova, turn into a neutron star, bigger eats smaller, just like female of the Latrodectus spider species, they after mating with the male, they eat up the male, है ना वो वाली situation. अच्छा, that is it. Abhi, for now, let's move on to the next topic, and that is M1 Abrams. M1 Abrams was recently, US president had announced that he would send M1 Abrams tanks to Ukraine. That is why this was in news. This is not Indian and not being sent to India. Okay, as simple as that. It is in context with Ukraine. M1 was basically developed by Chrysler Defense. Chrysler is a very big company, a very good company. Let's not call it good. Companies generally bad activities kar leti hai, but it's a very fairly good company which creates trucks, not like the trucks, my Gaddi Morke and all, but trucks as in the US trucks where you have 10-seater, 7-seater cars, big, huge, chunky cars, right? Just like Jeep Cherokee, for example. So Chrysler is a very good brand there, just like Daimler. है ना? If you guys don't know what Daimler is, those who know, comment section में बता देना उनको. बताया होगा किसी ने Daimler किसकी है, बहुत फेमस कंपनी है. अच्छा, M1 started in 1980 and ceased to exist in 1992. Now, this MBT is a main battle tank. Main battle tank. It was named after, to give honors to General Abrams, the commander of US forces during the Vietnam War, which they had lost. Acha, this main battle tank has replaced the M60 Patton, which used to serve the US Army during older times. ठीक है जी. It is informally known as the Beast, the Dracula, the Whispering Death. Quite silent and whispers death. Has a modern fire control system and everything. Not really relevant, but yes, given that we are covering this, तो कर ही लेते हैं, है ना? अच्छा, M1 Abrams, not Indian and not being given to India. It is US. दैट इज इट एंड इट इज इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट विद यूक्रेन. ये ध्यान रखना. तो रूलिंग आउट में, ऑप्शंस रूल आउट करने में हेल्प कर सकती है ये इन्फॉर्मेशन. ठीक है जी, चलिए लेट्स मूव फर्दर. ओ अच्छा, अभी फिलहाल ऐसा करते हैं, लेट्स कॉल इट अ डे. विल सिट डाउन अगेन, विल डिस्कस मेनी थिंग्स. फॉर नाउ, अभी के लिए लेट्स एंड दिस सेशन. आप सभी से एक छोटी सी रिक्वेस्ट है. प्लीज मेक श्योर टू लाइक दिस वीडियो. प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट यू नो you share this video with your friends, you watch it throughout, and also make sure that you are a part of other initiatives that Sriram's IS is bringing to you guys. I will see you in the next class. Till then, stay happy, stay blessed, keep pushing yourself, keep working hard. Bye bye. This is Sanadhat Bhardwaj signing off.